putting a pin in what's happening with Iz's eye.
Not just a pin.
Pin on my eye?
Just a pin, a Bowie knife. A rather cumbersome surgical tool. Maven and Kant. Since both of you are roughly about a week ahead is what you guys were saying, it's been essentially like a week. I believe Kant said that? Like during the next week?
Just during the next, time.
So you would be aware that all of this happened, which also would mean that security has been essentially doubled during this time frame. I feel like that is pertinent information.
Okay, well, I don't intend on doing anything that's going to set security off anyway, so...
Okay.
Sorry, I'm choking on air. That happens.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, that happened. Security is doubled. Was there anything we needed to do as a group, or is it back to machinations into the individual?
Obviously, since this is kind of a weekish later, we'll leave Iz out of it just because that'll get really confusing. Really, I was gonna say technically Iz would be available, but until we wrap up that little segment, I think it'd be a little confusing.
I'm a little busy right now.
You're not, actually. We just don't know what you're busy with.
Okay, so... is there anything that I need to do to help this Maven fella with doubled security? Because... I'm like... I don't know if your job is really affected. I mean...
Is my job affected?
They're checking the soap, for bugs.
Yeah, I would actually say probably more so than anybody else's. Yeah, your job's affected most, Maven.
They're going through all my pockets and my bag and things, right?
They do that, and you are generally speaking, there's always at least one security guard tailing every janitor now. Every custodian.
Okay. Well then, tell you what, I'm gonna help his quest to determine what all of the floors are up to by basically I'm going to keep checking the cafeteria every day, with my embeds to see if I can't find anyone who works on those floors and kind of talk some information out of them. Essentially, I'm just my main point of not just playing my cover is I'm going to go up to the cafeteria around lunchtime every day and just spam special someone until I find somebody who works on these restricted floors, and then I'm going to spam more embeds to get them to talk to me.
Give me your first embed roll.
Okay.
This one does not provoke compromise, I believe.
No.
Most don't.
I should just copy and paste the entire thing into another document instead of control F'ing the main PDF.
Might be helpful.
Maybe. Special someone with sympathy.
Nice.
What is with the rolls in this game, honestly? No words.
Yeah. I'm using a different push to talk button, and it's kind of funky still. I'm not used to it. It's just the God machine. Don't worry about it.
All right, 4 successes off of 4 die. Let's see here. Well, ooh. There are actually quite a few people here. You're gonna get your choice of, there's a couple of individuals from Utopia now. There's a couple of individuals from Luminous Labs. Few individuals from Butterfly. And there is one individual from Cheiron Group.
Well, that's the dangerous one, ain't it?
It's the dangerous and exceedingly tempting one.
Oh, you're absolutely right. It's the exceedingly tempting one. You see, I'm very tempted to just, focus all my efforts on one company, but Cheiron is also very funny. I guess I can, with some proper use of embeds, maybe I can get him to talk. Yeah, no, I want to talk to the Cheiron person. We have to, come on.
Of course, you got to.
Can't give me that and not expect me to talk to Cheiron.
The name
Okay.
badge. We're going to generate a name real quick. Sometimes when roles do certain things, you just gotta generate a name right off. Marcus Torp. T-O-R-P. Very clearly not from around here. Definitely. If you had to guess, well, actually, you wouldn't really need to guess. He has a very heavy Danish accent.
Okay. For the, just to make sure this guy gets talking, I am going to use 2 more embeds.
Oh.
Come on, I have them. They're free. I have to use them. So I'm going to use Don't I Know You to give this guy a positive impression of me by, giving the kind of, reminds him of somebody positive in his life, in his past.
No, you're not.
What do you mean I'm not?
Because he does know you already. So you seem to have forgotten one small detail. If we take a moment and think back, your cover has 3 dots in fame.
Oh. Oh yeah, okay.
A Miss
Well,
HR person? What?
Well, maybe now that he sees me, he gets. No, fine. I'll just play with it. That's fine. I'll just go to the second one.
It looks over at you. Hey, what were you famous for? Because I do have that written out here.
I think wasn't it like some book or something, or art.
Painting, drawing, sculpting were your 3 options. Which one did you choose?
Here, roll the die.
What was number 2?
Drawing.
Yeah, drawing.
Alright, good artist.
Hey, you're that artist, aren't you? Elliot, right?
Hi. Unfortunately, you don't really pay the bills, which is why I'm here.
Oh, yeah, Dad. I mean, Isn't that the saying that artists don't ever make money until they're dead?
A threat?
Yeah. Is that a threat?
Not particularly. It's just an old saying.
I know.
No. I have heard this said a couple times. You know, if it's true, yeah, so be it. If not, so be it. I'll be dead.
Well, I hope you don't have to worry about that anytime soon, but, yeah, it is kind of odd that you'd be working here. Blinks for a second, but, hey, you want to go up to the viewing platform? I can buy you lunch.
I mean, lunch anywhere is fine. That's fine.
I have
not feeling the food down here.
I actually own a few of your pieces.
It's quite the praise.
So he takes you up to the, I believe it was 60th floor?
Yes.
Takes you to actually one of the nicer restaurants. He orders a surf and turf, something that, as you look at the menu, you see is like $70. Just translating it into USD, just because nobody here is gonna know how expensive things are.
Yeah. So from just so I can get my dice bonuses to any possible convincing, I am going to use Muse on this guy and implant the idea of, you know, talking about his job, basically.
Okay. Go ahead.
So
No
it
compromise
is-
for that one? I have to ask.
No, it is. The dice pool is subtracted by his resolve, however.
Okay, resolve. Well, if it was intelligence, that would be a bit of a different story. His resolve's only going to be 2.
Cool.
2 successes.
All right. But no, I will not order something quite as expensive. I will live within my means as the starving artist.
Didn't he offer to buy?
Yeah, he's
Well,
buying.
yes, but you know, you can't just, you know, you offer to buy someone their, you know, lunch, and you don't order the most expensive thing on the menu. Come on.
At least not on the first meet.
No.
It's considered
Pretty
rude.
expensive first date.
So as the meal begins, so to speak, looks over. So, what position do you work in here?
Oh, I'm only down on the second floor. Is it technically second or first? I can't remember if the lobby is considered the first floor. Anyways.
The lobby is considered ground floor.
Okay, so floor 2. Yeah, down on the second floor. In charge of making sure our customer support runs smoothly. A lot of complaints these days.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so you work for Deva Corp themselves.
Yeah, the primary company here.
I work up quite a on the higher floors. I work on the 75th floor and 75th through 78. The Cheiron group, essentially. Not a bad job.
I've not heard too much about them, to be honest. Just seen them on the floor map. I've not had a phone call about them, so you must be doing your jobs well up there.
Well, quite fair. This is just our India headquarters. probably most of our call flow actually are main area in states.
Still, you would not believe how many people simply Google where you are and then call the main complaint number.
Well, yeah, but that's why I'm saying we wouldn't get calls here because our number's not going to be listed in.
Fair.
Our number would be completely internal.
Which is why it would come to my door, the confused citizen. Not the only, several of these companies that are not Deva Corp, but simply based here with them. We have to deal with their complaints of the confused masses.
Well, as stated, at least in our situation, most of those numbers that are going to be publicly available are going to just be at our call center helpline in America, rather than this one.
There.
We're not here to answer the menial customer question.
If your primary HQ's in America, what are you doing with a branch office here in Delhi?
I mean, we're an international company. We have headquarters in France, headquarters in Russia, South Africa, Australia, dotted here and there. South Korea as well, I believe, is another one of our branches.
Well, I know not a whole lot about corporations and branch offices, but I can't imagine much gets... You just here for show, or...?
Our company has interests in India, as we have in other locations. We also have obviously, we have a business relationship with Deva Corp. Sometimes there are joint ventures that we do.
Fair. I can't imagine any joint venture will be happening anytime soon after all those layoffs.
I've heard rumors in the grapevine that that's not necessarily.
Higher ups are gonna start pushing things again?
There... Actually, a lot of the corporations here are working on something. I don't have full clearance or information on it, to be quite frank, but I do know that there is something of a retrieval operation going on in South America at this point. I think Brazil?
I can't imagine you folks are too involved in that if you don't. I don't recall an office being mentioned there.
Of what? Oh.
I don't recall a branch office being mentioned in South America. I suppose it is a developing country.
Well, we have field agents that, sometimes we dispatch to areas that we don't necessarily have a headquarters in. As for why it's being brought here, I don't believe it's within our jurisdiction. I don't think we are the ones that found it. I think Deva Corp themselves found it. So that is why it's being brought here. But you know how things are. Bureaucracy.
I am unfortunately acutely aware. I can only hope to make it run as smooth as possible.
So, I want to put a pin in this real quick to check in on Maven. Since you were assisting Maven in getting people to spy on, so to speak, I would assume you would have given Maven some sort of cue that, hey, I want to talk to this guy, so to speak. I want info.
Probably, even if it's just like a, tap on the shoulder, or I just went and started talking to this guy and then left,
Alright, so then, I assume I would get that signal and, yeah, I'm gonna use my good old living recorder. Basically, I'm just gonna brush past
As you're mopping.
as mopping, yeah. Maybe bump a little. Oh, excuse me, sorry. And then activate living recorder. So let me just go ahead and roll that. Where is it? There it is. One success, hooray.
Ooh, that was
That's all I
close.
need. Yeah.
All right, so as you continue on, you are getting the recording feed of this conversation.
Yeah, I'll start it now, and then 7 scenes later. That's basically a full day, I suppose.
With that, I'm gonna go to Iz.
Easy.
Hello.
So obviously your vision is somewhat bisected by the blade of a very large Bowie knife that has been crammed into the eye.
Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and just spend some ether to regenerate my eye. I'm hoping this one just kind of...
So the way that works is as he tries to cut into the eye and, bring the blade up to, start to crack the casing, etc., you lose all sight of this as your demonic eye, let me phrase it like that, regenerates into your demonic form. So what this guy sees is as he brings the knife up and starts to actually cut into it, it starts to wither and shrivel and crumble into rust and dust. And he lifts his hand up and kind of lets it sprinkle down to the ground. And he's biting his lip.
But I don't see that.
Yeah, no, I'm just doing this for the audience, so to speak. Gets on his radio. Alright, we're gonna have to double security. Somebody bugged Butterfly Cryptozoology's labs. I don't know if it was just video that they got or if there was any audio taken. Unfortunately, there seems to have been some sort of self-destruct mechanism on the device. So, recommend doubling security for the next 2 months. Where is Iz?
Where
Well,
is?
I was back at home.
As your eye comes back. Of course, you are not aware of any of that.
Right. Well, I did mention the radio frequency last time. Would that have rolled over? Could I have heard maybe
I think because your eye had disintegrated, you were no longer within radio frequency range.
Okay, that makes sense. Alright. Okay. So they're doing funny things to animals. Night security is a bit extra. And I got a look at a whole new faces. Okay. So at night is when all the fun stuff happens. Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and my cover body is probably gonna need some rest. Because it's late I'm fine, but body needs rest, I guess. So.
Which leads to a really boring thought process where if your cover's asleep, your demon's just kind of sitting there going,
With my thoughts.
yep. But
I'm just laying there with my thoughts.
one of those weird situations, because I don't think the demon actually goes unconscious while while the cover's asleep, so...
Can you put me on sleep mode? Well, do I regenerate anything? Like...
You never took any damage. Essentially, it's just you deactivated your ability, so to speak.
Okay.
But you had to do it in such a way, because normally you would remerge with the ability.
Mm.
Since you couldn't remerge it, you had to spend ether to do it. So, with that, you would be aware of bringing you back up to everybody's time. You would be aware of Maven and Kant's plan. Should you want to assist with that, or do you want to do something else?
What was their plan? I know they're on a date or something.
I wouldn't say Kant is on a date.
Kant is on a date.
Like surfing, turfing.
Kant is a famous artist, and he has met a fan.
Mm-hmm. That's how it starts.
Using his fame to get in their pants.
Exactly. Oh my god, everything is fine.
Now, that is Maven's covers deal.
That's true.
So, I'm sorry, where are they exactly? I don't.
They are
Restaurant?
currently on the 60th floor in one of the restaurants during lunch hour.
Okay.
Well, during Kant's lunch hour. Maven's lunch hour is.
Oh, so it's lunchtime. Where do most of the employees hang out during lunch? Just at the cafeteria, or?
Cafeteria or on the 60th floor, because, I mean, cafeteria food is not the greatest, and obviously the 60th floor has restaurants and fast food joints. So,
Okay.
food tends
Cherion's
to be...
also free though, so
Yeah,
depends on what they're feeling. Do they want free or do they want nice?
yeah, pretty much.
Since I already had gone to the cafeteria, I'll go ahead and try the restaurant, 60th floor. And kind of just listen in and try and see if what people are talking about. this
So,
afternoon.
since this is kind of everybody's first time on the 60th floor, let me give you more of an idea of what this is. You know the food court / recreation area of a mall?
Mhm.
It's kind of that, but of a higher scale. So you still have your, like, McDonald's, etc., but they are a little bit better. They have a higher quality of taste, so to speak. It's not...
McDonald's.
Yeah. It's
They
still
don't have a higher
McDonald's.
quality of taste.
Still McDonald's, but they look classier. They try to look a little classier. This entire area, though, is a massive kind of open floor plan, so to speak, with obviously get kind of like an airport feel to it as well, especially because of the massive glass windows that open out onto a balcony type area where you can stand out and look over New Delhi. It is actually rather nice. It's very bright. There is a lot of natural light during the day in this area, as compared to the rest of the building that is very sparse when it comes to winter, now that you...
This is where you go to sunbathe a little bit.
Yeah. It is definitely busy. You see, this floor is As stated, you would expect to see this like an airport / very busy mall type area. So people are coming
Do
and
I
going.
notice? Do I notice the extra security? Is there extra security?
Oh, this floor isn't necessarily as heavily secured, but there is. Roll me perception, actually. It's a good time to roll perception.
What was perception again?
What's
composure?
composure?
Okay, I thought of that and I'm like, nah, that's not it.
It most certainly is.
It's been a while. Okay. I'm done.
You don't see any of the numerous plainclothed security guards.
They're hiding among us. Okay.
But you don't see them, so you don't know.
It's like, hey, this is a normal day. Okay, cool.
At least on this
I guess
floor.
it wasn't that bad. Okay. I scope around, grab a burger. Is my department here? Like anyone that I know will recognize from my department. Or anybody with a lab coat.
Okay, you're not gonna see anybody with a lab coat.
I don't know what I'll see. This place is weird.
You would, assuming you were actually actively looking for one of the legal, somebody in legal, you probably could find them here, but obviously it's a sea of people, so it would actually be an active search to look for somebody specific like that. However, you would occasionally see Maven making their rounds, cleaning. This floor is absolutely disgusting, generally speaking, despite everybody's best effort.
Best effort.
And you would see Kant enjoying a nice meal, chatting with an individual who, as soon as any sort of question about business comes up, he'll answer it, but he keeps trying to bring it back around to Kant's art. Or, well, I should say Elliot's art.
Alright. Who is the cafeteria loner? I'll sit with them.
I mean,
There
isn't a once again, this isn't a cafeteria type deal.
This is the public area.
It's a public airport food court. Area.
Yeah, this is where the civilians eat that want to look up out on the 60th floor building.
So you know those those restaurants inside of airports where you actually go in and you sit down at their like little area that they have. That's kind of what I was meaning by airport. The bigger restaurants are like that. Obviously, like little McDonald's probably has a couple of seats nearby, but it's definitely not cafeteria style by any stretch.
Okay. I grab Mickey D's and start people watching.
Stated, a lot of these people you can tell are just people in the area that, this is a nice view. It's the 60th floor. You can see well above most buildings at this point in New Delhi. It is just a very nice view, and people are, shopping, having lunch here, It's a little bit... It is a little out of place as you kind of sit here and look that this type of place would have such a public facing floor like this.
Interesting. So they're hiding in plain sight. Look how normal we are, guys.
Is there any sort of specific information you want to pump and maybe try to press for?
Okay, so he keeps bringing it around to art. So here's the angle I'll try to push. There's a lot of maybe not say it this way, but just so you know what I'm trying to go for here. There's a lot of weird things that happen. A lot of stories about this place. That's some pretty good inspiration. You see anything that you think might make a good art piece? You let me know, right?
Jesus, eyebrow. Oh, things that would make good art pieces. I mean, I'm no artist. I don't know what you would be looking for, so to speak, in that aspect. What type of art does Elliot do? I feel like this question I will let you decide rather than me choose.
What kind of art does he do? Well, I mean, I guess the dice randomly decreed more drawing, so
Yeah,
what do you draw is more the
like, what do you draw?
That's
French cats playing poker.
That seems a bit specific and probably not very popular in Delhi.
Nude poses.
I can lean more into the other, the cult idea here. And I could say a lot of the recent stuff has been like Buddhist, like the different gods and whatnot, more like religious.
I mean, with most of your stuff being somewhat of a religious bent, I mean, it's not like we have any avatars of Vishnu. We don't have Vimana sitting in a lab somewhere, He kind of chuckles.
But look, both of us, we're not from around here. Yeah, it's good to draw, but come on, you've seen some of them. A lot of this Buddhist stuff is, well, weird. I mean, four-armed blue people. I mean, what's going on with that? But it makes for good art. Makes for good popularity. I found inspiration with that, but like I was saying, inspiration can be found from anywhere, really. Nothing you need to bring up right now, I'm just saying. If there's anything unusual that you think might look nice on paper, perhaps not a one-to-one recreation, but I'd love to see.
I mean, pauses. I mean, not part of the retrieval. I'm part of the field research division myself, the FRD, as it were. So, a lot of the stuff I deal with are filed. I don't get to see any of the fun stuff, as our corporation puts it sometimes. So, I mean, I'm afraid I'm probably the most boring individual to you then in my company. Kind of.
Yeah, it was a thought, nothing more.
But hey, if I happen to have a discussion with another fan of yours in the retrieval division, maybe I could arrange a meeting. If that's okay with you, I wouldn't impose upon your time. Obviously, your time's very important.
Send him my way. See what happens.
Having finished his meal, he kind of looks at his watch and he goes, well, lunch hour's about over. I gotta make my way back up.
As I must as well. I have a long elevator ride down.
He kind of stands up, offers his hand out to Elliot.
I will shake it.
Pleasure to actually meet you and get to know you. Feel free to, if you see me in the cafeteria or up here, feel free to stop by again.
Shut up, Pooter. Of course. It was a pleasant conversation. Food was good. I must thank you.
Makes his way up. It would be at this time would notice that not a lot of people, but very clearly the workers are making their way off of the floor at this point as the lunch hour is drawing to.
Yes, back to the grind. Yeah, so I just make my way back to my office. My office.
So with that being said, Maven having the eyes and the ears.
You have just finished listening to this week's episode of Demon that Descend, Frayed Wires, part of the Domain Gaming's Contagion anthology, written and told by Wyverian. A special thanks to you, the listener, and if you wish to continue supporting us, subscribe, like, and share. As always, comments are welcome. Until the next chapter, don't stop asking yourself, what does one do if the slaver is the key to one's survival?